them. Okay? So Jesus and Peter are having a conversation. And Peter says to Jesus, Lord, I got this guy and he wronged me. And you've told me to forgive him. Now listen, it's not natural for Peter to forgive him. You want to know what's natural? The broad way that leads to destruction. You don't just hurt the guy, you hurt the guy and his kids. I know maybe not literally, but you don't just respond the way he hurt you, you hurt him back. That's the Lamech way of reciprocity. So Peter goes, this guy asked me to forgive him. And I did. You can almost hear it in Peter's voice like, I did. Good for me, right? And then he did it again. How many times am I supposed to do this? Remember this story? And what strange number does Jesus come up with? Jesus goes, 70 times 7 will you forgive the man. And it wasn't lost on a Jewish audience that Jesus has just said, listen, if you want to go down the way of Cain and Lamech, it's easy. When they wrong you, get them back. You want to forgive them once? Fine. They do it to you twice? Too bad. Now it's on them. And don't just get them back. Get them back. I mean, don't just hit them. Knock them down so they don't do it to you again. They cheat you in business. You cheat them back. You rip them. They rip you off. You rip them back. They hurt you physically. You kill them physically. He said, you can go through this way all you want. He said, but you want to know the opposite way? He goes, 70 times 7. He goes, let me introduce you to this is what I think that what happens in the way of the world is the compounding interest of Cain's reciprocity. The compounding interest of Cain's reciprocity is 7-fold curse, 77-fold curse. Just hell keeps stirring the more I keep playing the game of the world. What's the compounding interest of the kingdom? 70 times 7. It's inexhaustible how much I will give you what he has given me. Yeah, but he wronged me again. It is inexhaustible to reach into the well of the love of the Father and give it. Why? Because that's the kingdom I signed up for. And it's not as if I'm trying to jump up there and live that good. It's because I'm responding to a God who is that good, who looks at me and goes, all right, I'll forgive you 70 times 7. Oh, you did it again? I'll forgive you 70 times 7. Oh, you did it again. And we don't ever get God going, you did it again? You know, the Father doesn't corner us and say, listen, that's it, man. I'm done. And you go, why doesn't God get finished? Because he's not living in Cain's system. Now, what I've introduced to you is the narrow gate. Not, there's a real skinny road to heaven. You better read the right translation of the Bible or you won't get there. Come on. Stop with the foolishness. We're putting words in Jesus' mouth. Let's just take it straight from the horse's mouth. And Jesus goes, look, the whole Bible's been trying to get you to treat other people the way you wish you'd be treated. Granted, it's a narrow gate. Not a lot of you are going to do it. And the other way is easy because it looks like Cain and anybody could fall into that hellhole. And he goes, one of them leads to life and one of them leads to destruction. And now you know where we've gotten ourselves off track on that? Is we've went one of them leads to heaven and one of them leads to hell. But it doesn't say that. Jesus doesn't say one of them will help you live forever in heaven and the other one will make sure you burn forever in hell. It's not what Jesus is teaching in this passage. What he is teaching is that destruction is the compounded interest of Cain's reciprocity. And it's easy to get Cain's way. And you want to know what Cain's way is? Everybody loses. Person that hurt you loses and you lose. And the people you hurt lose, and then the people they hurt lose, and everybody loses. And Jesus goes, that's the mutual destruction of the world. And many be on that road that find it. He goes, it's easy. So if you want to know what life looks like, you want to know what it looks like to live. I mean really live. Live in a way that looks like the Father. The law and the prophets tried to get you to do it. We didn't do it because the last third of that Old Testament is us not doing it. He goes, but if you'll do it, you'll walk into a life that's the life of the kingdom. You'll walk into a life that's unlike this world. A life that doesn't have to get its way. A life that doesn't have to win. A life that wins simply because it belongs to the king in that kingdom. This is the life that Jesus promises. Not life someday. Don't discount life someday. Listen, you're an eternal spirit. You have the eternal spirit in you, and by default, that eternal spirit ain't going anywhere. And when the natural man is done, the eternal spirit has to go back to where the eternal spirit goes. And so celebrate the fact that you're never going to die. Oh, physically, we're all going to die. That is the reality of life. But celebrate the fact that in Christ, if though a man were dead, yet shall he live. Celebrate that. That's good news. As good as that is, Jesus said, I've come that you might have life, not and that you might have it someday, but that you might have it more abundant. So what Christ wants to do is introduce us to a life we get to walk out now.